last for approximately 3 hours with a 10-minute intermission. In the case of an emergency, please exit through the doors from which you entered, or from the doors on either side of the stage. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
So nightly toil the subject of the land, or it might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labour with the day. Who is that can inform you? That can I, at least, the whisper goes of. Our last king was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he should seize of to the conqueror.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Now, sirs, young Fortinbras of unimproved level, hot and full, have in the skirts of Norway here and there shot up a list of lawless resolutes, for food and diet to some enterprise that hath the stomach in it, which is no other but to recover of us by strong hand and terms compulsatory those foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive for our preparations.
This bodes some strange eruption to our state. Tush, tush, 'twill not appear. Okay! What art thou that usurpest this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of very Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak. Will not answer. To the day.
What? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio.
Listen, stay. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, which may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, speak.
Stop it! Tis here! Tis here! Tis gone!
Let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life this spirit dumb to us will speak to her.
Yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife.
Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks.
Now follows, that you know, young Fortinbras, in thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands, lost by his father, with all bonds of law, to our most valiant brother. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, and we here dispatch you, good Voltimand, for bearer of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of these delated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In this and all things will we show our duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is Laertes? The head is not more native to the heart than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France. For once, though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes turn again to France, and bow unto your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says the
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. My best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and our
A
child.
little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature and to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled. For what we know must be, and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense, why should we, in our peevish opposition, take it to heart? Fine, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire. And we entreat you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our child.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers. Hamlet, I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as yourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, and so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Oh, heaven and earth, must I remember why she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, oh, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like a Niobe, all tears. Why, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. A little month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. How most wicked speed, to boast with such dexterity to incestuous sheets, it is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well, Horatio. Or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. Oh, but what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
Oh, my lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Oh, where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefits and convoys assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
As for Hamlet and the trifling of her favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood.
No more but so.
Think it no more. For nature, crescent does not grow alone, enthuse in bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grow wide withal. Perhaps she loves you, and now no soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of her will. But you must fear. Her greatness weighed. Her will is not her own, for she herself is subject to her birth. She cannot, as unvalued persons do, carve for herself. Then if she says she loves you, it fits your wisdom to believe it, as she in her particular act and place can give the saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then wayward loss your honor may sustain. If with too great its ear you lift her songs, or you lose your heart, or your chaste treasure, open for her a master an opportunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and hold yourself in the rear of your affections, out of the shot and danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do show me the steep and thorny way to heaven. Wells, like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame, the wind sits in the shoulder of thy sail, and you are stayed for. Here. My blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops and steel. Beware the entrance to a quarrel, but, being it, bear to the opposed may beware of thee. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for a loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and thus shall follow as the night and day. Canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing, season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have sent thee.
What is it, Ophelia, he has said to you?
So please you? Something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry, well he thought. 'Tis told me Lord Hamlet hath of late been very generous of her time with you, and you yourself have of your presence been most free and bounteous. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
She hath of late, my lord, made many tenders of her affection to me.
Affection. Like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstances.
My lord, she hath importuned me with love in honorable circumstance, and given credence to her words, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, bearing more light than heat, extinct in both. You must not take for vows. For the Lord Hamlet, her vows are mere brokers, not of the dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits. From this time, be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. I would not, from any moment forward, have you so slander any moment's pleasure to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you, come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
It comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health, or goblin damned. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hersed with death, have burst their cerements. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do? You will not speak. Then I will follow it.
What if it tempts you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the
Go on, I'll follow thee!
My lord, you should not go.
Hold off these hands!
No! She waxes desperate with imagination. Let's follow. 'Tis not fit us to obey her. I'm after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it. Horatio! Over here!
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further.
Mark me.
Speak. I am bound to hear.
so art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold his lightest word, or harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. Ah! List! List! Oh, list! If thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh God.
revenge is foul and most unnatural murder!
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is. But this most foul, strange, and unnatural. It has given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death, rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul. My uncle.
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast! With witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oh, wicked wit and gifts that have the power so to seduce, one to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air, brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole with juice of cursed heaven on in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver, it courses the natural gates and alleys of the body, where the sudden vigor doth posset and curd, like ear droppings in a milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even to the blossoms of my sin, no reckoning made, but sent to my account, with all my imperfections on my head. Ah! Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and those thorns which in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Adieu! Adieu! Hamlet, remember me!
Oh, all you hosts of heaven! Oh, earth! What else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fine! Hold my heart. And you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee. I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea. From the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial, fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment. All alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Oh, most pernicious woman! Oh, villain, villain, smiling, damned villain! My tables, meet it is, I sit down, that one may smile and smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
My lord! My lord! Oh! What news, my lord? Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
How say you then? Would hard man once think it? But you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
It is an honest ghost. That let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, o'ermaster it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request. Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it!
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy. How strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such times, seeing me, never note that you know aught of me. Swear! Swear! Rest, rest, perturbed spirit. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.
Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
Shall be marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him to inquire of his behavior. So, look you, sir, first inquire me as to what danskers there are in Paris. If they be no, my son, come you more nearer than your particular demands will touch it. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him.
Ah, very well, my lord.
There put upon him what forgeries as you may please. Marry, not so rank as may dishonor him, take heed of that. But, sir, such wild, wanton, and usual slips as our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty.
But, my good
Wherefore
lord.
shall you do this?
My good lord.
Marry, here's my drift. Your party in converse, and him you would sound, having known the gentleman who breathe of guilty. Make sure he closes thus. I know the gentleman, I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then, with such, or perchance there was a ruse, a gaming, perchance a loss at tennis, or perchance, I saw him enter such a house of sale, visit a brothel, or so forth. Not a carp of falsehood, breathes the hint of truth. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
I'll be with you, fare thee well.
Good, my lord.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter? Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted. What, in the name of God? My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with her doublet all embraced, pale as her shirt, her knees knocking each other, with a look so piteous in purport, as if she had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors. She comes before me, mad for thy love. My lord, I do not know, but surely I do fear it. What said she? She took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes she to length of all her arm, and with her other hand thus o'er her brow, falls to such perusal of my face as she would draw it. Long stayed she so. At last with a little shaking of my wrist, and thrice her head thus waving up and down. She raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all her bulk and end her being. That done, she lets me go, and with her head o'er her shoulder turned, seemed to find her way without her eyes, for out of doors she went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
This is the very ecstasy of love. What, have you given her any hard words or legs?
No, my lord, but as you did command, I did repel her fetters and denied her access to me.
That hath made her mad. I'm sorry that with my better heed and judgment I had not quoted her. I feared she did but trifle and meant to wreck thee. Come, we must go to the king. This must be known, which, being kept close, could prove more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with her, and sith so neighbored to her youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw her on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts her thus. That opened lies within our remedy.
Good, gentle ones. She hath much talked of you, and sure I and two friends there are not living to whom she more adheres. It will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill. Your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more to command than to entreaty.
But we both obey and lay our service freely at your feet. Go, bring these gentle ones where Hamlet is.
Norway, my lord, is joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my liege and lady that I hold my duty, as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, else this friend of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it once used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do we long to hear. Say, Voldemort, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be preparation against the Polack, but better looked into, he truly found was against your highness. He sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebukes from Norway, and In fine, makes vows before his uncle nevermore to make the assay of arms against your majesty. Wherein old Norway, overcome with joy, gives us commission to employ those soldiers, so levied as before, against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give him quiet counsel through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowances.
Likes us well. And at a more considered time we'll read, answer, and think upon this business. Most welcome home.
This business is, well, ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty shall be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time. For nothing but to waste night, day, and time. And therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tedious is the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble child is mad, and now remains to find the very cause of this effect, or rather the cause of this defect. For this effect effected comes by cause, and now remains in the remainder thus. For pen, I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience hath given me this. Gather and surmise. Doubt those stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best, believe it. Adieu, thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to her, Hamlet. This she has shown me in all of her confidence and all the solicitings of Lord Hamlet, given the time, means, and place given to mine ear.
But how hath she received her love?
Well, my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince, and out of thy star this must not be. And then I precepts gave her to lock herself from her resort, accept no messengers, receive no tokens, and by this repulsed a short tale to tell, she fell into a sadness, and by this declension into the madness wherein she now raves and all in one.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very likely.
How may we try it further?
At some such time I will loose my daughter unto her. Be you and I behind an heiress, then to mark the encounter. If she love her not, then let me be no advisor for state.
We will try it.
Look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away. I'll hold her son. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Oh, well, not I, my lord.
Well, then I would you were so honest a man. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it!
What say you by this? Still harping on my daughter, though she said she knew me not at first. She said I was a fishmonger. She is far gone, far gone. I will speak with her again. What is it you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
The matter that you read.
Slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with those weak hands. But I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backwards.
This is madness, yet there is a method. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes
times her replies are. A happiness that madness often hits upon, but that solidarity and reason cannot be delivered. My honorable lord, I'm afraid I must humbly take my leave of you.
Oh, you cannot, sir. Take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life. These tedious old fools.
My honored lord!
How dost thou, Guildenstern? Oh, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do ye vote?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favor.
Say, for private's way.
In the secret parts of fortune. Oh, most true. She is a strumpet. Oh, let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Why, then your ambition makes it one. Is too narrow for your mind?
Oh, God. I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly.
And I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it's but a shadow's shadow.
What make you at Elsinore?
Oh, to visit you, my lord, another occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. And there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So may my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth. And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me.
My lord, if you delight not man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you.
What players are they?
Oh, even those you were wont to take delight in. The tragedians of the city.
Where are the players? Gentle ones, you are welcome at Elsinore, you are welcome, but my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
And what, my dear lord?
I'm but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
My lord, I have good news. The actors have arrived, my lord.
Just the judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou?
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Master, you are welcome. Welcome all. I am glad to see you well. much, my young lady and mistress. Your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll have speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
Oh, I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once for the play, I remember, pleased not the million. But it was an excellent play. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sabled arms, black as his purpose, horridly tricked, with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles. The hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam, seeks. So, proceed.
Oh, God, my lord, well said, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, but in rage he strikes wide, and with the width and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, stoops to his base with flaming top, and with a hideous crash, takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of reverend Prime, seemed in the air to stick. And so as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work. And never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor forged for proof a turd, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Prime.
Oh, this is too long.
It shall to the bottoms with your beard. Oh, prithee, say on. Come to Hecuba.
But who, oh who, had seen the mobiled queen run barefoot up and down threatening the flames? Who this had seen with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look, has he not turned his color and tears in his eyes? I pray you, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see these players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You're welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so. I'll be with you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Huh. Swoons I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal, bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, the child of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing, like a very drab, a scullion, fie upon it, foe about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tend him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
She puts on this confusion?
She does confess she feels herself distracted.
Well, gosh, you by no means speak. Nor do we find her forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring her on to some confession of her true state.
Did you essay her to any pastime?
Madame, it's so fun that certain players are over on the way. And this week told her there did seem in her kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think they have ordered this knight to play before her.
Aye, 'tis most true. And she did beseech me to entreat your majesty to stay and hear the matter.
Good gentle ones, give her a further edge and drive her purpose onto these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither that she, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring her to her wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madame, I wish it may.
Ophelia, we'll lock you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Look you upon this book, Ophelia. Such an exercise may color the state of your loneliness. I hear her coming. We must away. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die. To sleep no more. And by sleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit from the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now. The fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours. that I have longed to be delivered. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. With them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord!
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty to his likeness. This was sometime paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Help her, you sweet heaven!
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. To a nunnery go, and quickly too!
Heavenly powers, restore her!
God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll no more on it. It has made me mad! I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The soldiers, courtiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy and rose of the fair state, glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that such the honey of her music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Love, her affections do not that way tend, nor what she spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in her soul o'er which her melancholy sits on brood, and I don't doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. She shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute.
Shall do well. But yet I do believe the origin and commencement of this grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We've heard it all. My lord, do as you please. But if you hold it fit, let the Queen Mother tonight, after the play, all alone entreat her to show her grief. How be placed so please you in the ear of all their conference, if she find her not,
Then to England send her, or confine her where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as leave the town prior spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently.
I warrant your honor.
Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you overstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature. Show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure.
Well, I hope we've reformed that indifferently with us.
Or reform it altogether. Go, make you ready. Oh, good my lord, will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste. What ho, Horatio?
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as ever my conversation coped withal.
My dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been a man which fortune's buffets and rewards hast taken with equal thanks. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe mine uncle. Give him heedful note, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he still ought the whilst this play is playing and skate detecting, I will pay the theft.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Oh, excellent, I think, of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capon so.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
Oh, no, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Mark you that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
Oh, that's a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs.
What is my lord?
Nothing.
You're merry, my lord.
What should a man do but be merry? For look you, how cheerfully my mother looks. And my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay then, let the devil wear black. I'll have a suit of sables. Oh heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet. Why then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
first, my lord. Belike the show reports the argument of the...
Shh. For 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Hellas' old ground. Since love, our hearts and hymens in our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er and love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I do distrust you. Yet though I distrust, discomfort you, my lord, nothing must. Where love is great, the littlest doubts I fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operate powers their functions leave to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one is kind. For husband shalt
Confound
thou.
the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None with the second but who killed the first.
I do believe that you speak. For what we do determine, oft we break. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending doth purpose lose. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves should with our fortunes change. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both cure and hence pursuing lasting strife. If once the widow, ever I be wife.
She should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile this tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense and...
No, they do but jest. Poison and jest. No offense in the world. Oh, this is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You're as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love, if I could see the puppets dallying.
You're keen, my lord, you are keen.
Begin, murderer. Hawks leave thy damnable faces and begin.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agree. Confederate season, else no creature seen. Thou mix your rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's ban, thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, on wholesome life, usurp immediately.
Not surprising with false fire.
How fares, my lord?
Give over the
My word!
Lights!
Oh, good Horatio. I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Aha! Come, some music. Come, the reporters. For if the game like not the comedy. Come, some music.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, has sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it will please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's disease. But to the purpose. My mother, you say?
Your behavior has struck her to amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful child that can so astonish a mother.
She desires to speak to you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So do I still. By these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the doors upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Let me see one. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vestiges with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you then, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. Splud, do you think I am easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me.
My lord! My lord, your mother will have words with you, and presently.
And I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
Leave me, friends. Heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shent to give them seals, never my soul consent.
My lord, she's going to her mother's closet. There, I'll convey myself behind an arras to mark the encounter, for, as you said, and wisely was it said, some audience other than a mother should hear the speech of vantage, for nature makes them partial. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know. Farewell, my lord.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand and pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force? To be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down, then all look up. My fault is past. Oh, what form of a prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be. Since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen, may one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft has seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, e'en to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O livid soul that, struggling to be free, art more engaged! Help, angels! Make a say. Thou stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it. Now he is praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father. And for that, I, his sole child, do this same villain send to heaven? Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May, and how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven, but in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid vent, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.